Hello everyone, welcome to this special session where we discuss the study plan of RBI Grade B Phase 1 exams. Yes, today we are going to look at how you can use the Meritshine Phase 1 course so that you are prepared well enough for the Phase 1 exams, which is in another 2 months from today. Right. So, as all of you know that yesterday the detailed notification of RBI Grade B was released, and we also released a lecture explaining various aspects of it. So, if you have not gone through that lecture of Ravi sir, I would suggest that go through it. A lot of things would be clear. The link to of that lecture would be in the description section. So now, coming back to the Phase 1 study plan. Now, a lot of you had been asking for the course of the last week. In newspapers, the RBI Grade B notification was released. Not the detailed one, but the exam dates and everything. And all of you had been asking that how do we study for Phase 1 as well as Phase 2, right? So, 2 months to Phase 1 and another 11-12 weeks to Phase 2. So, what we decided, and we talked about it with you guys also, that we would do sessions guiding you how you should use the Meritshine course to get the maximum benefit out of it and to ensure that you are prepared as much as you are able to the greatest extent possible in this slotted time. Now, this lecture would be beneficial for anyone who is going to start now, or who has just started, or who has started but has not covered a lot of ground. For all of you, this lecture would be very, very helpful. For those who are already done with the course and are on the revision stages, they should rather go back to my session that I had delivered inside the course at the end of the January of how to organize your revision so that you can work on those lines. Okay. So, Phase 1, what does it include? It has quantitative aptitude, data interpretation, it has English, it has reasoning, and it has general awareness, right? The marks distribution and everything you already know, and we have discussed it in the yesterday's lecture also. So, I'll not go into that. Rather, I'll go into how do you organize your day so that you are able to cover the most important parts of those areas or those concepts. Okay. So here there are two basic assumptions that we have made. First is that the first 10 days from now, so let's say till next Friday, we would be focusing, or you would be focusing rather, from the perspective of studying, you would be focusing to Phase 2 less and more to Phase 1. Okay. And if you have time constraint, then you would be focusing entirely on Phase 1. Some part of Phase 1 would also help you in Phase 2. I'll talk about that. In GA, we will be doing something that would be as relevant in Phase 2. But mostly you would be focusing on Phase 1 for the first 10 days if you have time issues. Now, talking about time issues, how much time is enough time? On an average, approximately 40 hours study plan is what we are suggesting, which would be enough for you to crack this exam if you sincerely follow it till the end, right? Obviously, you have to perform in the tests and, sincerely do all that we are saying, but it is enough to, give you the base that you need. Okay? And 40 hours means what? 5 to 6 hours a week, right? 5 to 6 hours a day. Now, is it impossible? I don't think so. This much is something that you should be able to give to one of the most coveted exam of the country, right? And obviously 10% here and there, some weeks 10% less, some weeks 10% more, that would do, and that would average out to 40, but more or less 38 to 40 hours is what is needed, right? Now, first of all, let me show you the construction of the course, how it would look to you, and then I would tell you what to do, what would be the priority, which part of the course is sort of mandatory, so that you should be done so that you get the benefit of them in the exam, and what part of the course is important, but and they are advanced practice oriented. So before you do the basic parts, the concept parts which are mandatory, you should not move beyond and do those things. Okay, right? So let me first move out from the screen and show you the portal. So I'm logging into my student account, and this would be your home page. Here you can go to the My Enrollments from this place, or you can go to the My Enrollment from this place. So let's go to the My Enrollments. In My Enrollments, as you scroll down, you will get RBI Grade B Phase 1, whichever programs you have enrolled for, they would be there. So you'll click on Phase 1 program. Now you see, this is schedule of session. Here is the link to the dynamic schedule. So for you at this moment, this would be less relevant. But what would be more relevant, I'll come back to the link to the dynamic schedule, but what would be more relevant to understand that what are the areas in which we have divided the whole course. So there is a section called intro and miscellaneous, where you would have program orientation, which needs to be done, and there is the orientation to miscellaneous topic of quant and reasoning. So these are there. Now at least the program orientation is something that you should do. Okay. Then there is English. You have some lectures in English, 25 lessons, reasoning. These are miscellaneous reasoning lectures, coding, decoding, and then coding, decoding exercise, mathematical inequality, syllogism, input, output, right? Then you have arithmetic DI, which is a big module of 49 lessons, puzzle solving, 24 lessons, and then you have CBFA, which is a part of GA. We'll discuss it later on. Geometry mensuration, PNC, probability. So these are the major sections. Okay. Now, what would link to the dynamic schedule do? In the link to the dynamic schedule, when I open, let's say I'm opening the schedule. So this is the order in which the lectures have come in the course. So this would give you an idea that which to do first, and then which one, then which one. So you just need to go through this order of lectures. Okay. You just need to go through these order of lectures, and that would be enough. But then you must be thinking that so much to do. How would we do? Now here comes the lectures. How many lectures are important? How many lectures you need to do? Okay. So let me list them: arithmetic, numerical ability, reasoning, puzzles, geometry mensuration, and PNC plus probability. So these are the 7 areas that we saw just now, right? So in arithmetic, there are 29 lectures. Okay. Then in numerical ability, there are 7 lectures. Then you have English 25 lectures, reasoning 4 lectures, the miscellaneous ones, the input, output, and those were 4 lectures, and the rest were in arithmetic. Let's say, for example, you saw 45. So they were exercises. Okay, 29 lectures and 16 exercises. Okay. Now 5 lectures, geometry mensuration 7 and PNC probability 5. Now, first of all, what is the priority? Now, the priority here is that these 5 are your main priority first. Okay. And in that also, in arithmetic, the first 20 lectures covers all the important concepts. So, if push comes to shove and you are not able to do all the lectures, what you need to focus is that I should be done with 20 lectures. Then numerical ability, 7 lectures, all of these needs to be done. These are easy marks, and therefore you should be able to do that. Then English 25 lectures, out of which the first 19 lectures are compulsory or more important. I mean, more important from the perspective is that the rest of the lectures are advanced practice. They would be very helpful, but as I told you, when push comes to shove, at least these 19 should be done. Reasoning miscellaneous 4 lectures needs to be done. Puzzle 5 lectures needs to be done. Even 4 lectures, the first 4 lectures at least needs to be done. So these are the mandatory ones: 20, 27, 46, 50, 55 lectures. So these 55 lectures are to be done in the next 2 months and practice based on that. Okay. If you have to leave, if you have time, then obviously you can do all of them. But if you have to leave these 2, don't leave amongst these 55. Is it clear? Right? Acha, how do we get on that? Because historically, there had been more questions from these areas, from these 5 areas, and very less questions from area 6 and 7. But you might say that, sir, but still there would be a risk if this year it comes. Yes, there is a risk, but because we have less time, we will have to balance out risk and return somewhere. Na? So, looking at the historical paper, these 5 seems to be a safe bet, obviously. Even if there are 1 or 2 questions from geometry, should not be more than that. But still, majority of the questions would be from those 5 areas that we have talked about. Okay, right? So, this is what you need to do, 55 lectures. Now, how do we do that? Let me show you the way you would be approaching this. First 10 days, I told you what, the first 10 days, we would be focusing more on phase 1. So, watch 15, we would be means you would be, because all of these lectures are there with you. So, one was the good thing. The good thing is that all of these lectures is there with you and you can take it at your own pace. So, let's say, if you have more time someday, you have more lectures to do that day, and you have them all at your disposal. When time is less, then having source material on disposal is very, very important, and that's already with you. So, what is your first target? You know what? Phase 1 is important, because if I do not clear phase 1, how would I clear phase 2? How would I go to phase 2? And what we have seen is that people, when they start juggling with all of the stuff, when time is less, when time is more, then it's a different thing. When time is less, then after a little bit of time, 5 days, 10 days, they start panicking. I don't want you to panic and leave it in between. So, if a considerable portion of your phase 1, important parts of phase 1 is done in the first 10 days, you would feel confident about it. You would feel, okay, I am on the right track. I can clear phase 1. So, on the first 10 days, my focus on, or our focus on phase 1, you understand why it is. Okay? And see, first 10 days, 15 lectures across areas. Achha, how do we do it? We will do it according to the dynamic schedule. In the dynamic schedule, we will do the first lecture, then the second, then the third, then the fourth, this way, right? If in that priority 6-7 lectures comes, we can leave it and move on to the next. Okay? Then, following the 10 days, there will be around 4 weeks to you. In these 4 weeks, 4 weeks, you should be done with 30 lectures. So, how many days? 28 plus 28, 29 plus 10 days. So, 38, 40 days, 45 lectures you are done with. Okay? Now, while you are doing these lectures, going through these lectures, make pointer notes while attending the lectures. Summary notes, not extensive notes, brief summary notes. One lecture, maybe 8-10 points, 7-8 points. Obviously, it will vary from lecture to lecture, and also understand that at the starting, you would take a little more time in these lectures, but as you would move further, so after the 10 days, you would also see that when you are done with those 10 days, 15 lectures, you are much more comfortable. You are able to do 2 lectures maybe in 3 hours, but in the first 10 days, you will take 1 lecture 3 hours. Okay? So that would happen. So that's more natural, because you are doing the concepts for the first time, therefore you will take time. Now, take pointer notes while attending lectures. Take at least some part of the exercises that has been given. With some lectures, we have given some exercises. So, take at least some part of those exercises, right? Start taking mocks after these 40 days. Because then also you would be left with another 3 weeks. So, start taking, because technically from now onwards, you have around 7 weeks, 5 days or, 7 weeks, 12 days. Okay, 7 weeks, 12 days. So, 8 weeks, 5 days. So, we are making a plan for, till then for phase 1, because phase 1 is still on 28th of May. So, in this whole stuff, you start taking mocks after those 38 days are over. So, you are done with 45 lectures now. 45 lectures would ensure that you are done with the most important lectures, 70-80% of the important lectures out of those 55. So, you are in a position to use your common sense and ability to solve problems, to answer questions and get score out of it. But without analysis, mocks would not help you. So, analyze those mocks. How to analyze them? We have given a special lecture of analysis in the intro and miscellaneous section. Refer to it. It would help you to identify how do you analyze the marks. Okay, right? Now, analyze them, and after analysis, you will get data point. Na? You will get data point that, boss, I am good at this, I am not so good at this. If I want to revise from my notes one of those areas which I am not good at, I will just open my notes and revise it. Also, it might also happen that you think that, okay, here what did sir say? Let me look at that part of the lecture where sir explained this. So, even if you go back to the lecture, there will be for those 10-15 minutes where we have explained that part and not for the whole lecture, because you don't have time to revise the whole lecture. Na? Take. So, how much time would this take? For the first 10 days, total 30 to 35 hours you would take. So, that means 20 to 22 hours per week. So, 7 days, 20 to 22 hours means 10 days, 30 to 35 hours. So, 20 to 22 hours in a week, which essentially boils down to 3 to 4 hours every day. Okay, which is easily doable, I think. Next 4 weeks, after those 10 days, I talked about 4 weeks, 16 to 18 hours weekly for quant English and reasoning. The time comes down from 20 to 22 hours weekly to 16 to 18 hours weekly. And last 3 weeks to phase 1, because your majority of course would be done and it is just practice and taking marks and understanding and revising, right? And doing those areas which are left. In the last 3 weeks also you have time. So, if you are left with those 10 lectures out of 55 and you want to do them, you can definitely do them. You should do them, at least those 55. So, you'll be done with those 55. If you have more time, go on and do the rest of the lectures also, because that would also be very helpful for you. You will give an edge, but at least those 55 needs to be done. So, last 3 weeks to phase 1, but still you would take less time to do the quant English reasoning, because you have invested yourself at the start. You would be prepared by then. You know, a lot of people do what mistake? They give the last 10, 12 days, 15 days to phase 1 and they end up not clearing phase 1. This has happened with multiple students. Why, you know? Because though aptitude reasoning paper is not very challenging or very difficult, but still it requires thoughtfulness, it requires ability to solve problem, and which requires practice, and which requires, you know, some sort of habit building. And that would not happen if you had not been associated with it in a regular manner for the next 2 months. And when that does not happen, in the last 10-15 days, when they try and do it and they are not able to do it, then they get frustrated and they end up messing up their paper of phase 1. And even if they are prepared for phase 2, they do not clear the phase 1. This has happened multiple times. And that's why you understand the logic of first 10 days focusing on phase 1. That's why it is so. And see, last 3 weeks, you'll get only 10 to 12 hours weekly for quant English reasoning of phase 1. Clear? So, that is the way you should design your daily schedule. This is the study plan. On the basis of this, you should design your daily schedule. From where to do the lectures, you know. From where to do practice, you know. And there obviously would be mock test series that you would get. You can do practice from there also. Though all of these you already know, right? You just need to now do that. And looking at this, these time, you know, if I break them into daily times, these are not impossible times, na? For a coveted exam like this, these are not very huge timing. I mean, look at UPSC, where people study for 14-16 hours, right? Here we would be hardly making, you know, even for the daily plan of minimum requirement would be hardly more than 6 to 8 hours. So, obviously, if you have more time, obviously give to the things that you are missing. If you are not able to give that time, obviously you should do that, but then still it is doable. Now, next comes general awareness. Now, general awareness, let me show you first general awareness. How does it look? General awareness, let me move out from the screen now. Here is general awareness. See, general awareness, CBFA is one part of general awareness. Tick. Okay. And GA February onwards is another part of general awareness. Okay. So, now let's look at general awareness, what we need to do. Go through the lecture and quizzes of Union Budget and Economic Survey. So, on the lecture fronts, these two lectures are important. Where are these two lectures? So, if you look at this, GA February onwards, Economic Survey 2022 key highlights. This is a video. For video, you will have this sign. And this is the notes of it. Okay. And there is a quiz also on the basis of this. Union budget, lecture, notes, and then a quiz. So these two lectures and their key highlights and quick notes and quiz are very important. So do that. These two lectures needs to be done. And for the other part, we will not focus on lectures more because there are so many lectures of GA. But that would have been relevant if you had been preparing for the last 1 year. But at this point of time, if you start doing all the GA lectures, the time will never be enough. So what do we suggest? Listen to it carefully so that you can use less time. In the less time, you can utilize it the most. Achha, there is another thing here. For students who are already done with their aptitude preparation, they can also still follow this general awareness plan. That would give them more bucks for their time. Okay? So attempt the monthly MCQs, 500 questions each month starting February till October 2021. So February means February 2022. Matlab, you need to go back from February till October 2021. Obviously, March, April would come later on, and that you would do as current only. So where do we find them? In the same tab, see, in GA February onwards, in the same tab, you have compendium. See, compendium. Now, compendium, October, November, December, January, February. So start from February, January, December, November, October. Do these compendium. These are 500 questions each month, right? Achha, if there is doubt, you can refer to the base Excel file. Now, where is the base Excel file? The base Excel file is here. In the same one here, this is the base Excel file. Okay, CA material for enrolled RBI Grade B Phase 1 student. You open it and you will have the base Excel file opening here. It's opening. Yes, this is the master sheet. You can open it there. Okay, right. So, if any doubt, you can refer to this month-wise, date-wise. It is there. Now, the next task, go through the current banking and financial affairs, that is CBFA PDFs, and refer to the CBFA videos wherever there are any doubts. Now, where is CBFA? Now, CBFA is here. This is CBFA. So, there is so much video starting from May and so much material. You don't need to do that. You come directly, at the end. At the end, you have CBFA. Yes, February 2022 lecture notes. So, March would come after March gets over. So, start from February 2022 lecture notes. Go through the lecture notes, and if there is any doubt, refer to the video. Don't refer to the video first, right? Video has to be referred to when required. As I told you, see, every month there are 3-4 videos. You cannot watch all those videos for GA, right? If it had been a part of your process, then it would have been okay, but not at this point of time. So, refer to the notes and then refer to the videos if there is any doubt for CBFA. Okay? So, this is how these notes would look like. Okay? All pages, everything, every explanation. See, everything is there. Okay? Chalo. Most of the times you will not be required to refer to the video, but if there is any issue, just go through it. Achha, try to recall details of the news just by looking at one-line news in the index. Okay. Next, make quick notes for step 1, 2, 3 for fast recall. Now, you do not only go through them, you make your own notes based on them, and not just like your lectures of QA reasoning. Here also, this should be quick notes, brief notes, not explanation notes. Explanation notes is already with you, right? Ravi sir had already given you explanation notes. Why do you need to make your own explanation notes? You make brief notes so that you are able to recall them in the last week while revising. Now, revise using the monthly GA rapid fire revision sessions. Now, these rapid fire revision sessions would be embedded here, right, in the GA Feb onwards, and also be available on the YouTube. Okay. Here you find these rapid fire. Where did it go? Rapid fire, like for example, rapid fire February 2022. Similarly, there would be other rapid fire. So, you can just go to the YouTube and go through all the rapid fire revision sessions from October onwards. Okay. Why October? Because see, 8 months, 6 months is more important, 3 to 6 months, 0 to 3 months most important, 3 to 6 months next, and then 6 to 9 months. So, till May, if you look at it, October till May, October, November, December, January, February, March, April and May, 8 months we are done, right? So you are covering most of it. Okay. If you are still left with some time, you can cover September, but beyond that would be more work, less return. Yes, again you might say, let me come on the screen for this. Again you might say that, sir, there might be risk, we might miss question. Yes, there is risk, but you have less time, na? So you should be trying to do from those areas which would give you more return. Take, okay. And finally, when you have revised using quick notes / indexes to each PDF, as I told you, and also from your own notes. Now, how much time needs to be given to GA? First, till last 3 weeks, from today till last 3 weeks, to phase 1. Till last 3 weeks, 5 to 6 hours weekly. 5 to 6 hours weekly. So, which means 1 hour daily, not more than that. Okay, manageable. Last 3 weeks to phase 1. Last 3 weeks to phase 1, last 2-3 days I am eliminating for the sake, because last 3 days general awareness would be more and more revision. But last 3 weeks to phase 1, 10 to 12 hours weekly. So almost 2 hours every day, last 3 weeks to phase 1. And you will have to do these stuff only. Okay. And last 2-3 days, the last 2-3 days to phase 1, some extra focus on revision. Okay, so a little more time, because last 2-3 days I would not want, no one of us would be in a mental makeup to study anything else. I mean, you would be taking some mocks, you will be doing some GA, you will not be able to focus on phase 2 preparation at that point of time. Only last 2-3 days, to phase 1, not before that. Before that, you will have to balance out phase 1 and phase 2. How to balance out phase 2, what time to give, how much to do, what to do, that we will talk about in detail in the phase 2 lecture, in the upcoming phase 2 lecture study plan, which in a day or two. But you will have to do it till 3 days to exam of phase 1. Let's say till 25th of May. 28th of May, your phase 1 exam is there. 25th to 28th, you focus on only phase 1. So this was general awareness. So we are done with all the stuff. So let's summarize. So if you look at what would be done in this, all concepts, minimum practice would happen from the test series, from the exercises that you have got. So from the exercises, you do not need to do all the questions. Do some, at least 15-20 questions, so that you have an idea about how the things you have learned, you can apply them. Mocks and score optimization, how to take mocks, because the last 4 weeks you will take mocks, you will analyze them, and you will find out which are the areas you need to work on. You will work on them and then again take mock and analyze them. In this way, you will be optimizing your score, maximizing your scores, right? Time. How much time you are going to take? First 10 days, total time that you will take was 36 to 40 hours. So from a weekly perspective, because we are taking week as a unit, so 20 to 22 hours is the maximum time that you would be needed to give weekly time to that. So hardly 3 to 4 hours every day. 4 hours, let's say every day, 3 to 4 hours every day. Now, following 7 weeks, from 10 days till 7 weeks, let's say 10 days end on Friday, next Friday, okay, 8th of April. So, from 8th of April till the exam, 22 to 24 hours for phase 1, including GA, Quant, English, Reasoning plus GA. Take 22 to 24 hours. Or after I suppose 20-25 days, 23 weeks, you would see that you are taking hardly 20 hours to do all the tasks that we have talked about. So that then you will be left with, we have assumed 40 hours, na? So then you are left with 18 to 20 hours of time for phase 2, whose plan we will share with you in the next session. Okay? So this is doable. I think it's doable. Should this much time not be given to an exam that can change your future, then can change your career? I think it deserves it. Okay. So that would be all for today. Thank you very much. See you in the next session where we would discuss the phase 2 study plan. Thank you and bye-bye.